After much deliberation, I've finally pared down my choices for Victober 2025, and I'm very excited about them. Okay, if you're like me, then you way overplan and you overthink, and really it doesn't matter, but it kind of does because that's the fun of it. So I have very high hopes and expectations. I am honestly not going to read all of these in the month of October, probably because I have a lot of stuff going on for work and family things, but that's okay. I'm starting them and we'll see how far I get. And I'm just glad to be diving into the Victorian era. It is my very favorite thing. Okay, so for the first challenge, which is Kate's, it's read a Victorian book where friendship is featured. And I'm reading Charlotte Mary Yonge's The Heir of Redclyffe. I've wanted to read this forever, and I'm really grateful to Kate Howe for putting Charlotte Mary Yonge on my radar. I've read a few of her works and love them. Very excited to dive into that one. Then I am reading a short story from this beautiful little classic railway stories, and it is called Cuckoo Valley Railway. It's a rare story by Arthur Quiller-Couch that's actually set in the Victorian era because he's actually an Edwardian author. And he, if you've heard of his name before, if he sounds familiar, it's because he is Q that Helene Hanff talks about all the time in 84 Charing Cross Road. If you haven't read that, read it, you'll understand, and you'll understand why I've been wanting to read something of his. Very excited for that too. The next one is Marissa's challenge. Oh, and by the way, that was for Katie's challenge, which is to read a work of Victorian literature that's not a novel. The next one is Marissa's, which is to read a work of Victorian literature where a character experiences a change in class status. And I'm reading A Pair of Blue Eyes by Thomas Hardy. I don't know much about it. I'm very excited about that one too. I love Thomas Hardy. I'm hoping that one's not too tragic. Okay, then the next one is Roz's challenge, and I think I'm gonna find little sites of the Empire, of the British Empire throughout all of these, but I'm actually gonna be reading a short story called My Own Ghost Story by Rudyard Kipling, and I'll be watching for signs of the Empire in that. I believe it's set in India, so that will work, and also it will have a little bit of the supernatural, so that falls into Roy's category, and I'm reading another book for that, which is a short story by Elizabeth Gaskell. I'm either going to do The Poor Clare or The Old Nurse's Tale, which would be a reread for me, but I loved it. Yeah, we'll see. I haven't decided yet which of those I will do. Maybe both. Again, big ambitions, but we'll see if I can follow through. Okay, the next one is Elizabeth's challenge, which is to read a work by an underrated Victorian woman writer. And I'm reading an Oliphant, but not the group read. I actually read the group read just like a year ago, so I'm going to be discussing Hester, but I won't be rereading it again this year. So I thought I better read Oliphant anyway because I really love her works. I'm reading The Rector, which is very short. It's only half of this little skinny book, so it won't take me very long at all, and I may end up reading the rest of the book, which is The Doctor's Family as well. And this kicks me off into the Carlingford Chronicles, which I've wanted to read for a long time because of Miss Marchbanks, which I've heard good things about, and because I love the fact that someone besides Trollope wrote a book about, or a series about the clergy, which is really fun. Okay. The next one I'm reading is for Hannah's challenge, read a Victorian work that discusses education. And I think a few of these books actually touch on education a bit, but this one is like the most blatantly obvious education book that I'm reading. This is Tom Brown's School Days, and I love this old cover. Is it not the coolest? And it smells really good. I wish I could just let you smell, but look at those decollages. Anyway, I love old books. This is by Thomas Hughes, and I don't know much about it other than it's going to be a lot about school and young boys in school, and I think probably a little moralistic, and I don't mind that at all. It's so fun. All right, the next one I'm reading is probably about as opposite as you can get, which is Romola by George Eliot, and this is for my own challenge, which is to step back in time and read a work of Victorian literature set in a different era. And this is set in Italy, and I'm afraid I've already kind of beat it up a little bit, and it's in Florence during like the Italian Renaissance and like the Medici family and that kind of thing. I'm about halfway through. I'm kind of cheating on this one because I had to start it early. I'm reading with my sister-in-law and my mom and grouping it together because we knew it would take us a while and we're all kind of busy in October. So we started early and it will carry over into the month of October. And honestly, sorry, it also smells that really good vanilla smell. Honestly, I'm really enjoying it, but George Eliot is not someone to be rushed through. So we're taking our sweet time and savoring all of her beautiful writing and getting lost because sometimes I don't know what she's talking about, but it's great. I love her. All right, the next one is Milena's challenge, and that is to spin a digital color wheel and pick a Victorian book with a cover that primarily features that cover. Now, the fun thing is, this is what I was going to read for it. This is The Little Minister by J.M. Barrie, and I still want to get to this. This is on my hopefuls if I can get through all these other ones, and if not, I'm still planning on reading it soon. I've heard good things, and I really want to read that. Also, again, old, smells good. And then I'm also using these two books, Tom Brown's School Days. Oh, blue is my color if you can't tell by now. And also this one has blue, and the classic railway stories, all delightfully blue. So I'm kind of covering that 4 ways. I feel like I should get some extra points for that. Okay, the next one is, actually this is the last one, and this is Catherine's challenge, which is to read a Victorian book that has a connection to Jane Austen. And I was really excited to find that this book works for it. This is called The Semi-Detached House, and it also has The Semi-Attached Couple, and these are both by Emily Eden. Really beautiful old 1940s edition that I'm so excited to finally get to read. And Emily Eden was a big fan of Jane Austen's, so that makes me very excited to read her. And I've heard these books compared to Jane Austen's style and sort of the moralistic manners kind of thing like Jane Austen, but you know, of course, a little different, a little more Victorian. So very, very excited to read that. And I have a few friends that I'm reading that with on Instagram. And the last thing I have is just something that I would love to get to even just a little bit, and that is Elizabeth Gaskell's letters. I've seen Kate Howe read these for a long time and wanted to forever. I finally got my hands on a copy of, and this is not her complete letters, obviously, just a selection, but I love Elizabeth Gaskell so much. So I want to read just a little bit of that here and there. I probably won't get through it, but I will try to touch on it. I hope that you found some fun things to read, and I would love to hear what you're most excited to read this Victober.